Yo, what's going on, people? Guess what? It's extra time, and we're back with another video of extra time. Today, DAPS is going to be joining us. But before we go any further, I want you guys to check this out because I got some information on Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, yes. And if you guys don't know Victor Osimhen, who he is, he's the Napoli forward who everyone is talking about and everybody wants to sign. So if you don't already know, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, and Chelsea are all after Victor Osimhen. Now, I just want to show you guys this right here quickly before my guy Daps joins. So the Chelsea Express talking about Napoli are waiting for offers of 100 million plus in the summer for the Nigerian striker. Arsenal, Manchester United, and Chelsea are all interested in the Nigerian forward. You also have stuff like him mentioning the fact that it's his dream to play for a Premier League club. This is the actual statement right here. Victor Osimhen recently linked to Arsenal. I'm working hard to make sure I achieve my dream of playing in the Premier League someday. But I like saying it's a process, and I just want to keep on this momentum and continue to do well at Napoli. Also, there was a link that there was a rumor that Arsenal are leading the race for Victor Osimhen. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to know what you guys think about the potential Victor Osimhen joining a Premier League team, be it Manchester United or Arsenal. Let me know in the comment section right now, because that is the reality of the situation, ladies and gentlemen. He could be joining Arsenal. He could be joining Manchester United. He could even be joining Chelsea. At this moment in time, we don't know which one out of the three he's going to end up at. But reality is Manchester United currently lead the race. They're saying Arsenal currently lead the race. I don't know how Arsenal are leading the race in this situation when you can clearly see Manchester United have much bigger deficiencies and much more of a need for him. But at the same time, I'll take it. I will take it every single day of the week. Pause. But you know what I mean. I will take Victor Osimhen. I think any of you guys here will take Victor Osimhen. Let me know what you guys think, because there's been a lot of talking points. There's been a lot of people. I've asked questions. I've messaged a lot of people. I've asked them what they think, and a lot of the responses have been interesting. But this is another thing you guys need to see. This is another thing you need to see. Journalists coming out stating how much he might cost. Now, this is ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous amount of money, by the way. Ridiculous amount of money. Napoli won 150 million euros. 150 million euros. Are they on drugs? Listen, 133 million pounds. I get it. He's 25 years old. I get it. His contract runs out in 2025. But wow, that is going to be if he leaves the Diego Almiron Maradona Stadium for 150 million pounds. That is a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think about Victor Osimhen before we get any further, because Dabs is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about everything. We're going to also be talking about the Man United loss. We're going to have to talk about the Man United loss, because the Man United L was mad. The Man United L was mad, ladies and gentlemen. But the Phantom of the Opera, in Victor Osimhen, it could be joining a Premier League team in the summer. Who he joins, we still don't know. 150 million, Mustafa. That's mad, no? 150 mil. That's crazy. That's next level insanity, if you ask me. I'll take him. He plays at a high level. I'm not sure about the price, though. You see, that's the truth. A lot of people are not sure about the price. A lot of people are not sure about the price with him, because that price is ridiculous. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for Victor Osimhen. I think Victor Osimhen is going to be worth it, though. Call me crazy, but I think Victor Osimhen is going to be worth it. But if Victor Osimhen was to join Arsenal, wow, look at the strength and depth we could potentially have with him, Jesus, Eddie Nketiah. Now, if he went to Manchester United, he starts for them right away. He starts up top. He plays up top, and you're going to have Rashford on the left. But if he joins Arsenal, whoo, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a problem. He would fit all three teams, though. That's the reality. He would fit Chelsea. because he would be out and out number 9, and he'd be able to link up with everybody, and he'd be able to drop deep. He'll be able to do everything they need from a striker. If you got him in at Manchester United, he would link up with Rashford, he'd link up with Anthony or Sancho or whoever it is, and he'd be able to drop deep. He'll be able to do all those things. Same time, his passing is not too bad. His build-up play is not too bad. The guy overall is a complete striker, in my opinion. There is some things he can improve on, but overall, Victor Osimhen, from my perspective, from what I've seen, he looks like the prize asset in world football at this moment in time. When it comes to the fact that majority of the Premier League teams don't leave, majority of the Premier League teams don't get sold, majority of the Premier League teams don't sell their best players like that. But Victor Osimhen could be a possibility to join. Victor Osimhen at this moment in time, he dreams of playing in the Premier League. Victor Osimhen was talking about how he dreams about playing the Premier League, how he would wish to play in the Premier League, how he wanted to play. He always wanted to come into the Premier League and play in the Premier League. So if that is his main objective, to come in and to make that move to the Premier League, if he was to go to Manchester United or Arsenal, wow. But if he was to go to Chelsea, I think that might actually be it could necessarily be a bad move for him. I'm not gonna lie to you, because think about it. Who wants to go to Chelsea right now? And is Chelsea a healthy environment for anybody? It really isn't. Chelsea's not a healthy environment for anybody right now. Anybody who goes to Chelsea, they're going to struggle. Anybody who goes to Chelsea, they're going to find a situation where they're not going to be sitting pretty come the end of the season. That's just the reality. Where if you go to Arsenal, you potentially go to Manchester United. I know they lost 7-0 over the weekend, but this guy is well worth it. He's well worth it. He's shown on numerous occasions what he's capable of doing. And this season, what he is doing, Victor Osimhen, do you guys know how good he's been this season? I think Victor Osimhen this season has been one of the best players in the world. One of the best players in the world when it comes to goal scoring, when it comes to finishing ability. Napoli, people saying you don't watch Napoli. Listen, I don't watch Napoli. It's actually not crazy. Look at his recent form. Yeah, I've seen his recent form. I don't watch Napoli enough. I'm just telling you what I know from what I've seen and what I've heard. From what I've watched of him, he's been really effective. He's been basically scoring almost a goal every game since returning back from the World Cup. As you guys can see here, he's basically scored almost a goal every game in the league. In his league campaign, he has 19 goals, 3 assists. Right, one of the most effective players at this moment in time in world football. Efficiency, overall impact. I want to know, where do you think he's going to end up? Can you show his GA? I thought I just showed that. Let me show it again. Victor. I need to know, though. Do you guys think Manchester United are going to drop the ball on this? Or do you think Arsenal would actually be able to get him over the line? Do you think Chelsea would get him? I need to know, because Victor Osimhen, guys, no joke. This season, 19 goals, 3 assists. In the Champions League, he's got 2 goals. In the Cup, he hasn't scored yet. But DAPS is just joining us, by the way. Big up, DAPS. Bro, how you doing?
Yeah, it's another day.
You know what? Just before you came, I kind of felt like the people needed to hear about the Victor Osimhen conversation, so I started it without you.
Oh, yeah. What, are you man linked with him, yeah?
Bro, if you don't know, his dream move is to come to the Premier League, and he's currently now linked to Arsenal as the front runner to sign him. Apparently, how we are.
He was linked to Man United, but obviously, you watched the game at the weekend and was like, fuck that.
He's also linked to Chelsea, but Chelsea don't really seem like a healthy environment for any player to go into at this moment in time. And then when it comes to Manchester United, he would come in, and that's where he would probably start right away. He wouldn't have any competition for his place. He'd be guaranteed a starting spot. And I
think if he came to Arsenal, he'd start straight
away.
No.
I'm not saying he wouldn't start at Arsenal. I'm just saying he wouldn't have much competition at all at Manchester United.
I just think to get that player right now, yeah. He's gonna want he's gonna want to know he's starting every game. The hardest thing with any Napoli player, bro, and I'll be honest with you, because we spoke the other week on Mudryk and who was the other guy that you were after? Caicedo. And I kind of said maybe that Arsenal's board were a little bit naive. I think your board are kind of right. Obviously, your board is very different to City's board, yeah, for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
I think both of our boards are like our board are very much. We've worked very hard to be at a place now where if we feel a club's taking a piss, we walk away, right?
We do the same thing.
Yeah, and like we saw with we and it all stems from, you got to remember with Napoli. Firstly, Napoli moves shit all the time in the transfer window, but with us, when we wanted Jorginho and he was as good as apparently that was as good as done. And then when Chelsea got Sarri, part of that deal was that they'd also get Jorginho. From that point, City and Napoli's relationship was fucked.
It was the Koulibaly one. It was the Koulibaly one.
That Koulibaly came afterwards, and Koulibaly, we had an intermediate that was dealing with it, and even that one, we eventually ended up walking away. That's thankfully we got Diaz, so it ended up okay. But with them, I mean, the one thing in Napoli, firstly, I want to avoid them in the Champions League at any cost, right? For me,
they're going to win it.
Bro, and this is a thing that the one thing, you have to seriously score goals to beat them for me. And
listen, this comment right here, I have an unpopular opinion. I think Ivan Toney is a player who I think I would rather have over Victor Osimhen, based on the fact that I think
you'll judge him now, bro, because of all them charges. Your board will be like, we're in a good place as a club. Let's probably.
I hear you, but I'm just saying, if regardless of the charges, just move that to the side. If you were to just say to yourself, Victor Osimhen or Ivan Toney, raw talent, both of them, you got one man who's 26, one man who's 24. Who would you rather have?
Yeah, I hear you. Ivan Toney has gone up he's one of these players, a bit like Saliba, to be fair, because I was like, with Saliba, I was very much the same. Ivan Toney has...
I forgot one thing. I was looking at the price also. I was saying because of the price, not because of I don't rate Osimhen. I rate Osimhen. I'm just saying Ivan Toney's
experience, bro.
Ivan Toney's going to cost you 50 million, and I honestly don't think there's...
You know what it is? Egal. I'm right. So when you said if we ignore the charges thing, yeah, and that's a really good point, because recently I've been thinking about how Haaland would get his most goals, right? And this is when we were thinking about when Cancelo left, who City needs, right? Now, Aguero.
Are you saying Ivan Toney?
No. This is different, but it's to do with the charges thing. That when you say ignore the charges, right? Now, this is the problem. Even if he gets found innocent, the damage is done, right? Now, firstly, I do not want this player to play for City again, because I actually think that many charges, he might be guilty. But Benjamin Mendy, right? Do you know how many goals Haaland would get if Benjamin Mendy was playing on the left? Because he's that one player that touches the ball once and whips the ball into the box, right?
If he's fit.
If he's fit, right? If he's fit, that's a very valid point. But like Aguero with Mendy was monster, the games they did play. But what I'm trying to say is, once a player has these charges, yeah, a club will look at them differently, no matter what. And it's very sad. It is very sad. But
if Benjamin Mendy was acquitted, we don't know if he did it.
Exactly. But bro,
that's too much damage.
Is done.
Yeah, that's too much damage. You can't touch that. Honestly, I hope he didn't do it.
Yeah, fully.
I hope he didn't do it, because that would mean somebody wasn't affected by this. But either way, you can't do that. You can't have
as a football. And I'm just talking from a football club point of view, that where your club is at the moment, Egal, your board are going to be like, we're doing so well as a football club, we don't want to attract any potential backlash. So,
but stop 1 second, please. We cannot compare Greenwood, Benjamin Mendy, and to Kieran Trippier.
Agreed. Also agreed. But what I'm doing, I'm just talking on the charges. I'm not talking on what they're for, bro. 100%, I agree. They are completely different things. Agreed.
Yeah. You know what? People in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. Would you guys take Ivan Toney? Would you take the risk on Ivan Toney after the charges? Because I think I would still take the risk on Ivan Toney after.
I think you would. I mean, me personally.
Would you not want Kieran Trippier right now?
Me personally, even if he got found guilty, got 6 months and came back, I'd take the risk. I mean, in your football club, like.
Yeah. Okay, let's get away from the risk of that. Where do you think Osimhen was going to end up before we go on another rabbit hole?
Because of the fact that it's at Napoli, for me, it's United or Chelsea.
Not Arsenal?
No, bro. Because of the fact of how fucked Napoli are to do business with. That Chelsea will just go, like, Arsenal will be like, we don't think he's worth that. We're not going to pay that. And they'll play hardball, right? City aren't linked with him. We'd do the same. Liverpool would do the same. Man United and Chelsea, they won't. They'll just be like, cool, commercial value, whatever you fucking want. And just even more so Chelsea. So it's not based on, look, Mudryk, for me, 100% wanted to play for Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
He's at Chelsea, bro. Like, money talks, innit?
United's going to get Kane, though. I don't think they're going to get Osimhen. I think they're going to do the English thing and get Kane, which is ready-made.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. You know what? It's interesting. It's all on Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag holds the cards on that one.
I think it's on Tottenham. If Tottenham decide to sell. Because if Kane
I'm so intrigued to watch it, bro. I'm intrigued to see if Kane backs himself, because I've always said, like, for me, if you look at Kane's record and whatever and big games, and I don't think the guy backs himself as much as he should. So he might end up staying, bizarrely.
That would be ridiculous. Harry
Agreed,
Kane
100%, bro. They're disrespecting
if Harry Kane
him.
doesn't leave, you know what? Harry Kane, if he doesn't go to Manchester United, he needs to go to Chelsea. Because there's nothing he's going to accomplish at Tottenham that he can, because that club is third.
But does he back himself enough?
I think he doesn't. You're right. But does that mean he's the loser, or is it the club that's the loser, or is it both?
Right. He shook Levy's hand, yeah, and said, if I'm allowed to leave, right? His brother got, like, well, oh, I see what you've done there with the kit. You know what? You choose United over Chelsea all day, though, wouldn't you, at the moment?
100%, because of the Tottenham connection also. You'd be a Judas. You're a club legend. You can't go to Chelsea.
Chelsea's fan base is just like...
You go to Man United, there's going to be some people who are upset, but they'll understand. Yeah. You go to Chelsea, you go to Arsenal, you're finished. Your life is done.
Yeah, agreed.
Imagine he becomes the top goal scorer for their club, and then he goes to a rival next door. You can't do that.
Yeah, long.
Right?
Can't do that. You can't do that.
Egal, can we afford Osimhen? This is another thing. Only mentioned
with Napoli, probably not. You look, Arsenal. What everyone needs to understand is, and you know what, a lot of Arsenal fans spoke a lot of sense. The period you lot weren't buying players, is because we all know it is because of the ground, right? Arsenal are one of the biggest, clubs in world football, right? The ground is now paid off. Even if they weren't like in a title race, they can afford it. It's just I had this conversation with someone, and I said, you know what? I think the whole Premier League is corrupt, right? But one of the few clubs that I actually, and I still probably think Arsenal, in some sort of way, somewhere, every football club is doing something a little bit naughty, right? But the one club that I'm like, do you know what? They're pretty clean, I think, is Arsenal. And they do things the right way. So for that reason, I just can't see Arsenal doing business with Napoli. I can't see it.
You're right, bro, because we don't take this bullshit for nothing. But what is going on with Gundogan? Gundogan free, financially flexible. I'm hearing about all these free transfers out of your club. Do you think you let
Gundogan's contract, right, has been up at the end of the season, all season, right?
Okay.
A bit like Fernandinho was. When we gave Gundogan the armband, I kind of felt like it was one of them ones. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Or year-long extensions. But I think I got showed something earlier that apparently Barca are after Laporte, Bernardo Silva, and Gundogan. Yeah. And I said, I think they probably are. I mean, we know Bernardo's wanted to go for 2 years. Gundogan is looking at his options, and Laporte left France for Spain. If Laporte is not a starter, he will leave anywhere for anywhere. Yeah. So for me, I want Vardiol as a Laporte replacement. And as for Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, I'll be honest with you, bro, because everyone's talking about how we need to buy central midfielders to replace them two. I'm going to be honest. For me, Jack Grealish's best position for me is in a deep lying 8 role, right? And people go, oh, he's doing all right on the wing. He is doing all right, yeah. But if you look at the way he plays, it screams deep 8. The man can carry the ball, right? The man can battle back and win the ball back, right? Now, he attracts players too. And one of the issues we've had with Haaland this season is that a lot of teams hold their low block, right? Now, if Jack Grealish, every time Grealish drops into the middle and runs centrally, players are attracted towards him, which leaves space Haaland behind. So I'd play Grealish in a deep 8 role next season, and we could play Foden there as well.
You know what? Since we're on Man City news, let me actually pull up the article for you because this is crazy. Barcelona think they could potentially raid Man City and take 5 of your players. That's how deluded they are.
It's from the Barcelona Twitter account, isn't it?
No, it's not from Barcelona Twitter account. This is actually from a quite credible source. This is Eurostar, and Eurostar, if I'm not mistaken, they're the same people who work with.
So go through the 5, because 3 of them straight away I'd go, yeah, probably so.
Okay, so here are the 5. So you got Gundogan that they've identified. They've identified Bernardo Silva, Laporte, and they also have Julian Alvarez eyed as one of your players.
And I see Rodri in there as well.
And Rodri.
Yeah, so Alvarez is currently is in negotiations to extend his already, I think he's got 3 or 4 years left. He's looking to extend it by 2. And Rodri ain't going nowhere. Rodri's a potential captain in the future. Rodri is not going anywhere. I'm telling you now. Look, once Pep leaves, maybe players like Rodri might consider it. Right now, Rodri is not going anywhere. That is just mental.
Yeah, no, this is Barcelona, typical Barcelona stuff, man. They just start saying
what they do it all summer. Look, bro, the fact of the matter is, Barcelona for 18 months have been saying that they could get Bernardo Silva. Man City are saying, well, give us a bid. And
he's not going nowhere.
One fucking bid, bro. Like, you know, even saying we're not saying we won't sell him. Just offer us something. Like,
they want a Sterling Jesus situation where the player pushes the move or slightly says, let me.
And that's what they want is as well. They want players under the last year of their contract. Like Bernardo Silva, when they were saying it, had like 3 or 4 years left on his contract. So we're like, no problem, bro. Offer. Whereas if it gets to Bernardo's last season, like Gundogan's last season, now it's like, okay, you can offer 45 million, 30 million or something. And we might, but when players have got 3 years left on their contract, I don't even know why they're doing it. Like, it's just them. They're in a bad place. Someone told me they need to raise 170 million already.
What?
Like,
why?
I don't know. I just saw it earlier on that Barcelona, they can't, like, they need to raise money before they can even start getting busy.
Are they just, you know what? That league is in trouble. Because if Barcelona,
do you know what? I don't like TalkSport. I don't like Simon Jordan. But he said something once that was so true. It was about Spain and the Italian league. And it was saying how basically the Premier League was created because in the 80s and early 90s, English football was in a very bad place because we'd been out of Europe and all that and the hooliganism. And we created this thing called the Premier League, right? And as a brand, it was an absolute fucking monster. It worked, right? It was a risk, but it worked, right? And it's taken us to a level. Now, what Spain and Italy are doing now is Italy and Spain, instead of trying to look, like, if you see something that's good, you shouldn't go, I want that to be on my level. You should be saying, I want to be on that level. Whereas all Italy and Spain do is they're trying to drag the Premier League down as a brand back to their level instead of aspiring to be at our level. And
they can't compete. They can't compete. They know it. And the only way they can try to compete in their mind is to belittle or to try to downgrade or ruin what we have going over here. Yeah, that's exactly. The reality.
But bro, if I ask you now, like, who the top teams in the world are, and when I say top, right, let me use the biggest clubs in the world that players aspire to play at. Two of them. No, but 2 of them, like anyone, anywhere in the world, everyone wants to play for Barcelona or Real Madrid. So they've
true.
got that advantage straight away. They're just not using it.
Not anymore. You have more players nowadays saying, forget about Barcelona and Real Madrid. I want to play in the Premier League. They don't care about playing for
right
Barcelona,
now, but they still want it on their CV sooner or later.
100%. But you see people going to Aston Villa, Everton, just to say, I played in the Premier League. That's how much it means
to the bigger Premier League clubs. I hear you, but they're just not using their brand correctly. Like they've got, you can't have a brand like Barcelona, Real Madrid, and then sulk in the corner. Yeah, you've got, like, for me, if Man United was sat there going, "Oh, we can't attract anyone," fuck off, man. You're Man United. In your worst career, in your worst seasons, you can still attract the biggest sponsorships.
Let's talk about Man United. 7-0.
We have to.
When it comes down to it, this had to be one of the craziest weekend results.
Yeah, it's mad, bro. It's mad.
Like,
it's
this
mad.
this
will.
You know
what it is, Egal? Go on.
When it comes down to it, this is going to be Manchester United's worst ever result in their club's history. Also, this is going to be their biggest ever derby defeat. This is going to be the biggest. It's going to be the most goals they conceded in the second half of a game. And
Egal, stop. Egal, you're doing what Man United want you to do. I just said this to Cass. You're saying this is Man United's. This is Man United's. This is Man United's. It's kind of, it's not giving it enough shame. Forget that, bro. This is one of the Premier League's worst ever. Yeah, not Man United's, because that's by their standards. Let's be real. The worst I can remember is City. We lost 8-2 to Middlesbrough, right? Ipswich, I think Man United beat when I was a kid 9-0, right? This is very fucking bad, not just for Man United, but in Premier League history, bro. And the worst thing is that I hate Liverpool, but United needed this fucking humbling. They needed it because their fan base was way too quickly. Do you know on Wednesday against West Ham, Man United fans were singing, "You've seen the champions, now fuck off home," just because they won a Carabao Cup, right? So they needed this. Like, so I'm here going, United will bounce back, 100%. I do think they will. But they needed this fucking humbling. Their fan base needed this.
You know what I need in the chat? I need a bunch of 7s in the chat, guys. I don't have 7-Up. You might have it, but you guys need that. You guys need that. Listen, all I have to say is 7-Up, the most free advertisement I've ever seen for a company in my life. Oh, man. They are living life this week.
Oh, bro. They must have woke up on Monday morning and been like, "Oh, our stocks are through the fucking roof."
110%. I've never seen so much advertisement for 7-Up. I didn't even know people like 7-Up that much. I'm a Sprite guy. Sprite, if you want to get it sorted out, we can do something.
I like 7-Up because generally in shops nowadays, yeah, like you can buy crates, as in big crates of 7-Up for like £8 for bare cans. And the good thing is they're sugar-free. So
there you go.
But no, but actually talking on the game, it was
Liverpool are at their
clinical.
best.
So clinical.
Gakpo, Nunez, we need to be honest. We can't call them flops no more.
No, can't. Bro, do you know what it is, though? I've said about... Right, so when Pep first got to City, for a while, it was very difficult going Anfield. Now, it's still difficult, by the way. Like, we've beaten when the fans weren't there. We get draws a bit more often now, but... it's not as bad as it used to be. But the one thing I noticed, what Pep realised is, by the style we play, is that when we go there, firstly, he never ever talks shit on them or Anfield. Secondly, for the first 25, 30 minutes, unlike usual City, we don't really try and advance the play too much. When we win the ball, we'll slow the game down, pass it back, and nullify that crowd, right? This season, Pep got a bit silly in the second half and did that to the crowd. We lost, right? That crowd is one of the crowds that you don't want them to get loud. You don't want them to get momentum, because if they get momentum, yeah, they will fucking steamroll you, yeah? Like, and Ten Hag will come away from that with like, shit, I realise now. So, and the mad thing is, I'll be honest, the way he was speaking about it's only a ground, it's only a pitch, it's only a ball with air in it, all that is like, you're asking for it, bro. As a manager, that's the one thing a manager should never do, is get overconfident. Like, that's...
I think it was a misunderstanding in the translation.
Maybe. If you're being fair, probably, to be fair.
I think it was a misunderstanding in translation. I think similar to how you've had managers like in the past who don't, it's not their first language. You fight
Yeah, I've seen Pep do it a few times.
these situations happen, and I just want to be a little fair because I know Unai Emery did stupid stuff like this all the time, where he said stuff like, "Oh, we're not worried," and then next thing you know, we get pammed.
Yeah, I just think on the whole thing, it was a humbling, even with like the Casemiro thing, the way. And I've had to say to them all when they're trying to like say, "Oh, well, it's only one game, you know, we can't." And it's like, but you do this to everyone else. Like you do this to Trent. You've done it to Gakpo. You've done it to Nunez. No one's getting landing time no more. Yeah, you lot have put Casemiro now on this pedestal. You've told us all that he's changed your whole mentality, like as a club. So rightly so, like we go at Trent because Liverpool fans rate Trent so highly. So we're like, if you're going to rate him highly, if he has a bad game, we're going to talk about it. So now with Casemiro, if you're such a mentality monster, how are you in a team that just held 7? And I'm not saying Casemiro is washed. I'm not saying he's, but United fans need to understand if you talk about a player in that, and Martinez as well, by the way, more than Casemiro, because Martinez is apparently the best defender in the world, but some of his defending in that game was atrocious, absolutely atrocious.
Fair enough. And you know what? I just think it's going to be a situation where right now we're going to look at the Premier League and we're going to say to ourselves, the landscape of the Premier League has changed. You now have a situation where the top 4 has completely changed. Our predictions from earlier have changed. DAPS. We need to go over them and look at what we had and what we're going to change. Because if I'm not mistaken, we had Chelsea. We still have Chelsea behind Brighton and Fulham. We had Liverpool also behind Brighton and Fulham.
Yeah, I always kind of slyly thought Liverpool would get in there, man. I'm not going to lie. They're PTSD with them.
So we're finally putting Liverpool in the mix
for me.
With Brighton, Fulham.
Liverpool, the fact that Tottenham fans were celebrating, the United loss, and I was like, this isn't good for you lot. This is very fucking bad for you lot. Newcastle, this isn't good for you lot neither. Like, I think we're pretty lucky, Egal, that as Arsenal and City, we can probably go, I think we're good, but Liverpool hitting form isn't good for anyone. You've still got to go there. They've still got to come to the Etihad. It's not good for anyone. Like, it was great to humble United, but we don't want Liverpool to now 5 games clean sheet in the league, We don't want Liverpool to hit no form. We've both still got to play them.
No, that's fair. Neither of us want Liverpool to do well, but guess what? They're going to do relatively well now for the remainder of the season, in my opinion. I think
they get top 4 for me.
I think they definitely do. And let me just show you what we had. I think previously, if you guys have been on the show, me and DAPS did a whole prediction thing, so I have it still ready. Let me just show you what we had. It's not too bad actually. It was pretty close to what it is now. So since we've last spoken, as you guys know, Everton are out. So I just moved Everton up. I moved Bournemouth down, but everything else it's changed a lot.
I think Forest might dodge it as well. To be
fair, we gotta move Newcastle down, and I think Tottenham staying down there was fair.
Did you see Caicedo said that Brighton are convinced that they can get top 4?
Yeah, Brighton are going to stay in the mix. We're going to keep them up there.
And Egal, one for you. We've still got to go to Brighton.
We got to face them at our ground also. We're going to talk about the title race in a second. We're going to talk about the title race in a second, but just going back to this, where do we put Liverpool now? Because I'm not going to lie to you.
Top 4, bro, for me.
I take Tottenham out of there and I put Liverpool.
Yeah, I can't see Tottenham. Tottenham, nah, not for me.
So is this your top 4? No particular order. These 4.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree. I think this is this top 4 from now on. It's going to be a situation where you're going to have Arsenal, Man City fighting for that first spot. You're going to have a situation where who could finish higher, Manchester United or Liverpool? That could be an actual battle where we see who actually has the bottle. Because Manchester United, you never know, they could capitulate from here.
I don't think they will, but they could do. But I don't think they will. They've got a perfect game to bounce back on, right?
What's the game?
Actually, have they got Betis this week?
They have Betis, yeah.
All right, and then at the weekend, I think they've got, is it Southampton at home?
Southampton, yeah. Southampton at home is a good win for them, potentially.
I mean, they could have done with maybe not Betis, but is what it is.
You know what? That is very true. So when it comes to Tottenham now, let's just scroll down quickly. Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle. I think Newcastle are out. I think Brighton are out of top four. No question.
Yeah.
Tottenham are the only other contender. But to put Tottenham in
Do you know what, bro? Brighton is a slow one, you know, because I do think it's funny. Obviously, I was at the game at the weekend against Newcastle. I was speaking to a few Geordies after the game in a pub, and obviously it was very important that we won it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for them, after the last month they've had, the fact that, like, if you go back a month ago, they were third, they were about to go to a cup final, and everything was looking rosy. Now the cup final's gone, they didn't win that. I think generally in the league they've drawn a load of games, maybe lost one or two. I don't know if they've even won in the league since then.
Are you saying they're going to make the top four though?
Like I said, the game against City was one where, like, bouncing back after going out the cup, I felt it was important for them, and I was worried going into the game. But I do fear for them. But look, they'll tell me, and they probably are right, that to finish in the top 6 or 7 is still good for them. But I don't know. Look, the weekend, I don't know who they've got, but they're back at St James's Park. They need to get back to winning ways, and a lot of their players do look tired. Like Callum Wilson don't look the same.
Bro, they won their last game 4-0.
Who?
Brighton.
Oh, is that who they've got? Brighton? No, I'm talking about Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle are in trouble, bro. They're not getting it no matter what.
Yeah, I think Newcastle are in trouble.
Newcastle are done, in my opinion, because Newcastle didn't strengthen enough in January.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's very weird because I honestly thought they would, but
their defense is still solid, and their main thing is they're picking up points against the smaller teams. The bigger teams, they're always going to struggle.
They're only picking up points, not really points at the moment.
That is enough to sometimes see them into Europe. This is the thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need to get rid of some of these teams. So out of these teams here, who's not making Europe? I don't think Fulham's making Europe.
We'd love it. We would love it, innit? But
I don't think Chelsea's making Europe.
No, not for me, Chelsea, bro. No, the 1-0 win didn't change my opinion on Chelsea.
I don't think it's between
Ivan Toney is a fucking monster. Like, he really is.
It's between, you know what? Newcastle could fall down to 7th. So it's between Brighton. It's between Brighton and so it's between Brentford and Brighton and Newcastle, who you think is going to make Europe.
How many places get Europe?
At this moment in time, you got 7 teams that make Europe.
Yeah, I'd probably say obviously City, Arsenal, United, Liverpool, Tottenham, Newcastle, Brighton.
Just so you know, right now, up until Brentford, there's only like from 38 points to 45 points. It's only like a 7-point difference from 9th all the way to 4th. So realistically, there could be a lot more changes.
Yeah, there could be. I don't know, man. Look, everyone will keep saying that with the players that Chelsea have got, but for me,
they have no chance. I'm
looking at the players and I'm like, let's be real. I'm a big fan of Reece James. Big fan, yeah? And there's been points where every time he comes back from injury, instant change, yeah? This time, not so much. It didn't look as much, and he doesn't look happy. I think he picked up a knock the other day. For me, I'm kind of, Chelsea. I've said it. I wanted to back Potter, but I can't see it under Potter now, unfortunately.
I just want to read this comment because this seems funny. I agree with Egal and DAPS. Just a week ago, I wouldn't have even thought Liverpool was my team. Now it's crazy how quick things change in football.
Oh, this is the thing though. I was speaking with a Leicester fan in the bank earlier on, right? And he asked me if I think City will win the league, and I said, look, if City are, I'll say the same thing I've said all season. If Manchester City are the Manchester City we know and love, yeah, we can win the league. But this isn't a season where we can be second-rate City and think we're going to win the league. We won't. Arsenal are good, right? I'm already saying to people, if City do win the league, remember the league we won where we got 98 points, Liverpool got 97, and everyone said, oh my, actually, the end of the season, people were saying, but Liverpool did so well keeping up with them, yeah? I'm already at the point where I'm kind of saying, is this Arsenal team as good or better than that Liverpool team if you don't win it? Now, if you do win it, bro, They won the Champions League that
First,
season as well. But in the league, yeah, like, you're very fucking good, bro. People need to understand this. And I've said a lot of shit about Arsenal and said, I don't think, but you keep going. Like,
I'll tell you this. I don't want that. I don't want to get into that conversation yet because we haven't won anything. Once we actually win, you then can have those conversations. Because until you have anything.
But that was about you finishing second.
What?
I'm comparing you to the Liverpool team that finished second.
I don't want to be compared to that.
Good. And that's what I'm saying. That's a very good answer.
That's honestly, I don't want to be compared to second. This is why when people keep talking about what ifs, I'm like, we have the points on the board. City have to catch up.
It's yours to lose. Bro, the fact of the matter is, if we are the best Manchester City right now, and you are the best Arsenal, and we win every game, and you win all bar one game, the game against us, who wins the league?
Arsenal.
So we need to be the best City, but we also need Arsenal to drop points elsewhere.
You know what? Forget about Arsenal right now. When we talk about the Premier League, Man City yourself, you have to pick up your points. You can't drop points.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. We have to win. Like, bro, Crystal Palace next weekend away.
Your bogey team.
And I said to someone, when you lot came back from being 2-0 down, I said, in a mad way, it's probably what we need. Because if you would have lost that, we probably would have gone Palace without pressure and fucking dropped points, right? I feel like now, for us to be the City that in the business end of the season turn up, we need a proper title race, yeah? And quite simply, we will either rise to it or we won't. But let me be very clear. This is not a season where we can be second-rate City and just get over the line. We have to be at our best, Egal. Like, we're not coming up against like a dickhead team at all, right? It's that simple. And we are not the same City. I need to see the desire week in, week out. Otherwise, the league ain't ours.
You know what? I respect that. One thing I will tell you though, people really piss me off. You know, even though you've been not as good as us defensively this season based on your clean sheets,
we've been bad defensively this season.
Even though you've not been good defensively, what you guys have been doing is you guys control games in a way where teams cannot really get too many shots on you, where we still let other teams get the ball a little bit more than you do. So they seem to have more XG against us. So what's happening is people think the underlying numbers benefit you guys based on the fact that your defense, we've conceded the same amount of goals this season.
Sorry, what? Right. Is this one of them stat things where people were trying to...
Basically, I was on the terrace yesterday, and the whole argument was that our defenses have conceded the same amount of goals. We have more clean sheets than you. Gary Neville comes out and says, Arsenal's defense is bad, Man City's defense is better, they're going to win the league. I come out and say,
absolutely insane.
That's where I come in, and I say, this is absolutely bullshit. Let me land, please. I say, this is absolutely bullshit. Every one of you guys are talking shit. There's nothing that says our defense is bad. Our defense actually been as good as Man City's or even better because we have more clean sheets. We have the same amount of goals conceded, and they have more control of their games. Hence why they have less shots on them than we do.
Bro, one of our biggest frustrations as City fans this season has been the fact that Pep has maybe tinkered with the defense too much and not tinkered with the midfield enough, right? For me. So I can stand here and yes, if I wanted to give excuses, I could say Diaz has been out injured for a period, Laporte's been out injured for a period, Stones has been out injured for a period. However, I'm going to be consistent. As a top 6, top 8 side, we all spend enough money that a league is not won with your best 11. If your squad's not good enough, your squad is not good enough, right? But
do you feel like
what I'm trying to tell you is ultimately that what has not been good enough this season has been you look at our goals scored. Our goals scored are very similar to other seasons, right?
It's good, yeah.
Our goals conceded this season is far worse than any other season. So I don't know. Look, bro, when people are pulling out stats to try and go with arguments and that, the one thing with a league is it's 38 games, right? It's whoever finishes top.
Are people overrating your squad depth based on your past
Oh,
squad?
bro, you know I've said this for years.
But bro, it pisses me off because every time I bring up the fact that your team is regressed, other fans are blinded by the fact that you've won the league so many times.
Oh,
It
bro, right. Do
frustrates
you
the
know
life
what you
out of
need
me.
to do is?
Dabs,
All you
let me
need to
guess.
do is, yeah,
It
is
frustrates the life out of me.
if you go and look at 2017, 2018, right? A City team, right? And don't just look at the starting 11. Go and look at the bench, right? And then also take into consideration the age of the players on the bench, yeah? Because what you will see is you have got a fucking prime squad, right? At its now you're looking at our bench, and yes, it's very easy. The other day, right, and this is where it's fucked, that when we played Bristol in the FA Cup on TV for everyone to see, we rested Haaland. We rested Edison. We rested all our main players. So the camera keeps going on our bench and going, look at that bench. And it's like, yeah, that's because it's the FA Cup and we've got players on the pitch that wouldn't usually start, right? You go and look at our bench in a Premier League team or in Leipzig as a prime example. We've got like 4 academy players on the bench, right? And then we've got players that are like 31, 32. It's not, whereas before, you're looking at City bench back in 2017. You're seeing fucking Sane. You're seeing Fernandinho, maybe Rodri. You're seeing Bernardo Silva regularly on the bench. You're seeing players that are prime 26-year-olds, 23-year-olds ready to come off the bench at any point. It's our squad, but bro, that's the way Pep likes it. So again, it's not an excuse. This is the way Pep and Man City want to do it. So if it doesn't work, we have to hold it. That we've got it wrong.
You know what? We're gonna have to move on quickly because we're gonna wrap it up soon.
Zinchenko on the bench or Gomez on the bench as a prime example.
Zinchenko. Trossard on the bench or Riyad Mahrez. You're gonna have Riyad Mahrez, obviously. It's Julian Alvarez or Eddie Nketiah. You're gonna have Julian Alvarez, obviously.
Oh, sorry. Is this turned into a comparison of Arsenal and City?
No, but if we're gonna do that, obviously you still have more quality.
Oh, your bench is also. But here's the difference. For me, our bench, right, is overrated, and for me, your bench is underrated. But let's be honest,
look at Reece Nelson.
Your whole team currently is underrated until it wins a league, and that's the same always. The minute you win a league, the quality of that team all of a sudden moves up a bracket instantly. Okay. Eddie Nketiah will then become a great player off the bench.
We're going to have to come back to that. Reece James, personally, I think he could become the next Hector Bellerin if he keeps getting injured. But going to Bayern,
even better one for you is, because of his build and the fact he's English, is Michael Richards.
Michael Richards is a nice guy. Leave him alone.
Oh, lovely. But he retired at 29, bro. He's top heavy, elite. But when you're a fullback, you don't float around the pitch. You dig your heels in and run, right? And if you're top heavy, that's a lot of fucking weight on your lower leg. So I think, honestly, I think that's the reason for it.
Hey, Reece James, if he doesn't get himself sorted out, he's going to have to leave the Premier League and go somewhere where it's a little less pressure on him. When it comes to Trossard's injury, Trossard is going to be back soon. Hopefully his injury, we found out that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he picked up an injury in the last game. If you don't know, Trossard got injured. He started. Emil Smith-Rowe came on for him. He got subbed off he subbed on and then got subbed off for Reece Nelson because we wanted something else instead of Smith-Rowe. And then Reece Nelson came on and helped us win the game. And also, fun fact, Reece Nelson has
when we're talking on Emil Smith-Rowe and you tell me things like that, I'm watching.
I'll tell you this, Emil Smith-Rowe was not physically ready enough to play at that pace of the game, and he wasn't offering us enough on the left side.
I've seen one or two people watching him in maybe like, does he play for your under 23s or under 21s or something?
Who?
And Emil Smith-Rowe. Since he's been coming back, has he been playing for maybe with the younger lot or something?
I don't
I think Gunnar Lee, I've seen, watched him a couple of times and said he's still looking a bit off. He's been out for a long time, man.
100%. He's not 100% there, and there's even fears that he might not be, if he doesn't get through the season without another injury. There's fears that they might consider his future. Now,
what you need to just So, can you remember a player for Man City before we got money called Michael Johnson?
No, I don't recall.
Right, so he was around the Stephen Ireland era. yeah, just as we got the money and Robinho and that came in. And he was actually like seen as our best young prospect. And he got an injury that kept him out for a very, very long time. And then when he came back, we'd got the money and we're buying better players, right? And all of a sudden, here we go. So you see what he just said there, Jack. Remember, Jack, you said the other day, DAPS, shall we call a truce, right? And then instantly you jump on another stream chatting shit like that, Jack.
No, is he calling you plastic or the injury?
Of course he is, bro. This guy follows me around from stream to stream to stream, messaging content creators about me. He's a weird, weird character. Jack, every time I say, no problem, olive branch, I'm good with it, yeah? You do something like this, bro. You have a weird infatuation with me, which as another man is very strange. I'll be honest with you. Like, I keep saying, no problem, bro. Like, I don't know you. You don't know me. If you did, trust me, it wouldn't be nice for you, right? But just stop with this fucking weird shit. Every time you say, should we call a truce? I'm like, no problem. Then you do weird shit like that. Like, get a grip, brother.
I don't think he can help himself at this point.
Anyway, what I was saying is with Michael Johnson is that he came back from a long-term injury and he really, like, I feel like because the club had evolved and moved on, and he ended up having to retire because of mental health issues. And I think, but that's the thing. Imagine you're Smith Rowe and look what's happened to Arsenal since he's been injured.
We've been amazing.
So it's hard for him because, like, there will be confidence issues that it has to be managed correctly to get him back in and feel like, and I think Arteta's the right guy because I think Arteta's handled Eddie Nketiah perfectly. So he can do it, but it's a difficult one at that age.
Okay, and let's just wrap it up with the Champions League, because today we got some Champions League to go talk about. The games are about to begin, so let's just get into it. Chelsea, Dortmund are playing today. Benfica, Club Brugge. Tomorrow you have Bayern Munich, PSG, and then Tottenham, AC Milan. Where do we begin? Chelsea might as well, because that game's about to begin right now.
It's 1-0 in it, but is it 1-0? 1-0 Dortmund.
Yeah, 1-0.
I think Chelsea might go through, you know.
You think so?
I hope they don't, but I think they might.
I think Chelsea can go through. I hate Chelsea, but like I have a feeling they go through and Mudryk scores today.
Yeah, it's one of them ones where any team in the Premier League, I don't know how you feel it as an Arsenal fan, but for me, I do respect heritage, yeah, especially in the Champions League. So when I look at a team that has won the Champions League when they haven't been good in the league, yeah, Liverpool for one, Chelsea for another, that the minute they're in the Champions League, you want any team that has won a Champions League, you want them knocked out before the knockout stages because
100%.
You know that they know how to do it, yeah? I'll be honest, between me and you, Egal, with Tottenham and the fact that last time we played them in the Champions League and the fact how we are against them in the league, I want Tottenham knocked out ASAP, yeah? Because I can't be having it where Tottenham somehow, yeah, get the better of City again. I can't deal with this.
I was just gonna say this is Chelsea's lineup. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like it. You got Reece James, Chilwell, that's good. The midfield of Enzo and
Havertz up top, man.
I don't know why they put Havertz every time. Like put
Cucurella and Chilwell. Okay.
You should have done Sterling, Felix, and Mudryk. That should have been it. Why Havertz continues to start makes no sense. Cucurella, Koulibaly, Fofana, that's decent. Chilwell, Reece James, good. Midfield, Kovacic, that's good. Arrizabalaga is their best keeper right now. So I think Chelsea win this game. I think they win.
I think so. Look, it's one of them ones, like we just said a minute ago, that everyone's saying with the players they've got, sooner or later they'll bounce back. Again, we're saying it. We think they're going to go through, but we don't know, do we? That's the mad thing. And then the next one tonight, Benfica and Club Brugge. If we beat Leipzig, that is who I want in the next round. One of them two, please.
You don't want Benfica. Benfica is good.
Oh, bro, I do.
Okay, fair enough.
Actually, no, I'd take AC Milan, but I wouldn't want any of the others. I don't want Napoli.
Listen,
don't want
Jose Mourinho, when Porto was going into the tie for the semi-final of the Champions League, he put in the heads of his players that they want Manchester United. They want Manchester United because it was the toughest draw. And to get them mentally prepared for the possibility of them playing Manchester United, he said, we want Manchester United. We want Manchester United.
When he was managing who?
Porto. So what happened was they ended up drawing Manchester United. Out of 4 teams they could potentially draw, they ended up drawing Manchester United. And when they drew Manchester United, he said everyone in the locker room erupted into cheer. Instead of being down and sad about the fact that we faced Manchester United,
because you know
they
what,
were
bro?
so mentally prepared that they wanted to play them. What happened? They went into the game. They got the 1-goal lead. Then they went to Old Trafford. At Old Trafford, they Manchester United scored first, and they got scared. The whole crowd went quiet. Everyone stopped trying. You know what he said? This is when we need to pounce. Free kick in the final minutes of the, in the minutes of the game, and then the historic moment where he starts running off. I don't like Jose Mourinho, but his mentality and how to coach is the right way. You should never.
He's built for the Champions League, and he is. I don't know, man. Look, bro. The one thing I'll say about the Champions League, and again, you lot know it, is people say City should have won it by now, but the same people want me to credit their club because their club has won the most difficult tournament in world football to win. So it's not easy to win. You're going to have to play people sooner or later. I really fancy a trip to Milan, though. I'm not going to lie. I want to see the San Siro before it gets knocked down.
Let's talk about Tottenham. If Tottenham lose, they're not going back to the Champions League for a couple of years. I'll tell you that right now. Look, I genuinely believe it.
Egal, I think you might have been on the stream with me within the first couple of weeks of this season, right, where Tottenham fans were rubbing it into Arsenal that they'd qualified for Champions League football and you hadn't. And I said to him, look, as a City fan, I get the bragging rights you have over Arsenal. Great. You got there. They didn't, right? Great. But this is a season. And at this point, this was definitely the first couple of weeks. I said, you lot really think you might do something you might win a trophy this season, right? You lot really think this is your season, right? So now, as a City fan, being humble, we've never won the Champions League like Tottenham haven't, right? Now, we have a manager that has twice, yeah? But even now, we're struggling in the Champions League still, every season, right? And we still don't know if we're ready to do it. So I said, so being realistic, you as a Tottenham team that's never won the Champions League, you've got a manager that is shit in Europe, right? Great that you got in the Champions League. Do you really think you're going to win it? If you don't, go out in the group stages and concentrate on picking up that fucking trophy at last anywhere. No, we think we can go. And at that point, I'm like, I'm done. Like, if you, man, really think you can go from not winning anything for that long to instantly winning a Champions League with a manager that has no experience of doing it, I rate your chest. I wish I had that, but
delusion.
It's bizarre, bro. It is bizarre. And this is with a City and Arsenal fan. Neither of us have won it, but we wouldn't be Man United fans. If they get into Champions League this season, next season, Man United fans will think they could win it. Rightly so, because they've won quite a few of them. Yeah. But we understand as Arsenal and City fans that we're like, it's not easy to go from never winning a Champions League to picking up your first one. But Tottenham fans think it's fucking like going to fucking Sheffield United away in the cup.
Listen, let me just show you this. This was the beginning of the season. But, bro, I'm just going to say AC Milan beat them. And when it comes to PSG, Bayern Munich, I think PSG somehow pull out a...
Who's a Tottenham fan here?
Listen.
All the rest of us said it, and I'm saying it live on our channel, say it on this channel, say it on any channel, Twitter. Look it up. We are going to win the league or the Champions League this season, yeah?
Jesus! You know you're drunk, right? I just came out and I said, you know you're drunk, right? Because there's no way you're coming out here saying you're going to win the league. And this was, when was this? At the beginning of the season, June. This was June. He was saying this.
Yeah, but if we're talking this tie again, is it 1-0 again? Is this another 1-0?
Yeah, it is 1-0 AC Milan.
I think Tottenham probably go through again.
No, they don't. Really?
Bro, it's just, look, you're asking a City fan. This is PTSD against them fuckers. Like,
it is what it is. The games have started, bro, for Chelsea and stuff. We're gonna wrap it up here. What I'm gonna say,
love.
Big up my guy for jumping on.
Yeah, love as always. And
Never a Foul. And also make sure you do subscribe to Never a Foul. Make sure you subscribe to my channel also, and have yourselves a wonderful day. We're out of here, people.
Evening all.